How's it going, folks? Taylor Wachowski here. Just going over some quick footage of Zeus and I while we were hanging out this fine day. Just took him out one-on-one, give his people a little bit of a break and give him some exercise. Now he's here running around off-leash, having a good time. But whenever I refer to exercise, I don't necessarily just mean running, running, and getting a dog tired out to where he's panting and going crazy. I mean, we just got here. He's excited. He's full of energy. And we're going to be, doing some exercise, but not a lot of it's going to be, throwing the ball and running and going crazy. Of course, I would love to throw the ball for him. He didn't seem too interested in it with me, probably because, his people aren't there and he's not as interested. But we still get plenty of mental stimulation here at the park that tires him out, a good bit, I would say. So sorry for the sun being in the face. I tried to speed this part up just a little bit so you don't have to stare at it as long. But I wanted to keep this in to show you the little bit of I guess, structured training that we do. We're just walking on loose leash. I don't care that he heels. I don't care that he necessarily looks at me or holds eye contact. I just want him walking loose on a leash. We do this for a couple of, maybe a minute or so, or even less than that, and then I let him go and be dog. And this, believe it or not, is mental stimulation. He's focused on working with me. He's working on being focused with me, whatever, words. He is able to sniff. He's able to look around. I try to throw a ball for him. He doesn't seem, super interested, and that's okay. A lot of times, if I'm exercising a dog, I want to work them out mentally. Should they have a good bit of run time? Of course, but that's not all that exercise should be for a dog. The majority of it should be mental stimulation, such as obedience training, working on duration of a sit or a down or a stay or whatever. Allowing them to go on a sniff walk, allowing them to play with a puzzle toy. You can make your own doggy puzzle toy where you hide treats in it, or you can buy one, or you can hide them around the house, or you can work on scent training, whatever. Just chill with your dog and that's, let them go out and explore the world. And that's really good mental stimulation for them. So the difference between a tired dog that way and a tired dog of running around for, 20 minutes chasing the ball to the point where they can't breathe and they're all sprawled out on the ground. I would rather have the dog that spent maybe, 20 minutes just doing this with me. They won't look as tired, but they probably will be more tired and for a longer period of time, or more calm, I should say, than a dog who ran 20 miles. And may end up, with bad joints later on, or sore muscles, or a pulled muscle, or just, they're conditioned to be, little chickens on crack. So don't be fooled by a dog who looks tired because they're panting and hyperventilating and they just can't breathe. They're probably being conditioned to be in really good shape to want to go more and more often. Versus a dog, say, that looks like Zeus here, he could be very well tired out. And he hasn't even been running. So I know at this point, obviously, he's not. We work, a little under 2 hours. So we worked in the car driving here. We're going to work on him reacting at the fence. As you can see here, he's going to be, chasing cars and people and dogs up and down the fence. I'm going to be trying to call him back. And I think pretty shortly here, I'm going to need to put his leash back on so I can control this. So he looks happy, right? He's running. He's having a good time, and I mentioned that because a lot of people will say, oh, my dog loves to chase other dogs up and down the fence. A lot of people do this. They go to dog parks, let their dogs run up to the fence and chase cars and people, and what he's doing here. And nothing against Zeus. I love him to death. But him doing this and any other dog that does that is obnoxious. Okay, I'm sorry, Zeus. I'm sorry, any other dog. It's obnoxious. It's, to me, it's obnoxious and dangerous because that behavior can lead to so many other things. One, you're conditioning your dog to be this, crazy psycho on crack, whenever they see the dog, they're conditioned to just be super hyper. I have no problem with a dog that is happy to see friends or has a prey drive. That's very natural, but I want them to be able to control themselves. Clearly, you could see that chasing up and down the fence over anything can lead a dog to be hard to work with on leash. Right now, the tension of the leash is causing part of that too. The barrier of the fence is causing things. The movement of the car is causing things. All these are just, triggers that happen. That's why we work with this. So you're going to see me having to drag him away a little bit. I mean, I don't want to have to drag him. I want to be able to use a lot less force than I do. But he is planting himself and he's just focused. He's too over a threshold. So I get him to focus on me, and then I let him go back to go sniff. And he's able to go walk away. Perfect. So although I said yes, that behavior itself is obnoxious, it doesn't mean that the dog is bad or stupid or mean or anything like that. I love Zeus. I love Lucy. His little buddy is a little a chocolate lab. They're adorable. I love this guy. He's a big cutie, and I could never be mad at him. And it is what it is. So if you just think about it as, you don't take it personal, okay? He's going to run to the fence. He's going to get frustrated. I think in a little bit here, he's going to pull. I try to grab the leash and it kind of slides through my hands and get a little bit of rope burn. But it's not personal. Zeus didn't mean to do that. In fact, I think I might personally, when it comes to long lines or dogs that are not very, soft on leash yet, or dogs that are, more reactive to where they pull the line. I like to use a neoprene leash. It's like that fake leather stuff. You can get it pretty cheap, in the same length of lead. But, this would be a perfect lead for a dog who's a little bit softer. And that doesn't have anything to do with, it's not a bad lead. It's not the bad dog. It's just something that I've just kind of learned, that I think that if you have a dog that takes off and you're not prepared, or you are prepared, you want to have good equipment. So the neoprene is just great. You could get a little bit better grip on it, is what I mean. It doesn't have those sharp edges on it, like a lot of nylon leashes have. I used to use nylon all the time. I've switched over to neoprene, which is, again, like a fake leather type plastic material. Anyway, so you're going to see a lot of me just standing around, and Zeus can look at me. He can come to me when he wants to. He can leave when he wants to. I'm just backing up. I'm increasing distance. If he remembers that I'm there and he wants to come, terrific. Not once do I tell him stay or sit. I'm just walking around. And if he wants to come join me, he's going to get a little goodie. And so I'm starting a pattern of behavior that is reinforcing him staying next to me. I allow him to look at things. So here he sees something. Luckily, the leash was not tightened. Otherwise, it could have set him off. Because, again, that tight leash can lead to that barrier frustration. So, sorry, I go on a lot of tangents, but thinking back to a dog at the park, or a dog that likes to chase things up and down the fence, yeah, they're happy, but that behavior, because it's okay at one point in time, doesn't mean you're going to be okay with it at another point in time, and that can very much confuse the dog. So, because it's okay in the yard to chase things up and down the fence, if he gets out or he's in another person's yard and he likes to chase him and you're trying to catch him before work and then you're frustrated, well, that's just because you allowed it to happen. So for dogs, it's much easier communication to never allow them to do something or always allow them to do something. You can't do it sometimes and then other times you want to. So for example, with him barking at the fence, of course, nobody wants him to go bark at the fence. That's the whole point of why we're training. But I have to be able to be consistent in every time he goes to the fence to bark or chase something. I have to be able to get him and remove him from that situation. And here you see my rate of reinforcement has increased, which tells me as a viewer there's probably something going by. I imagine there's a car going by, so I allow him to see that car, dog, person, whatever, and then I'm able to back away and get his engagement and reward. And you see, my treating is coming much quicker. So there's part of the leash. Got to be careful for that. You see the car on the left-hand side just drove by, and I'm able to get his attention again. My theory of why that happened, why I was able to get his attention even after the car drove by, was because we set up that pattern of reinforcement. Reinforcement means to increase behavior. I increased the behavior of him coming back to me. So I did a little peace sign there. I think I probably pointed out there was 2 dogs or 2 kids or 2 cars driving by that we had huge success with. So here I'm kind of distracted fixing my little training belt, and I could have taken this time to reward him. He's sitting there watching me because this behavior in itself is reinforcing enough to him. If I had stayed there and never rewarded him, then he would stop showing this behavior. Just like if I'm able to prevent him from practicing or reinforcing the behavior of running up and down the fence and barking at people and dogs and cars and whatever. If I'm able to prevent that, then that will eventually, become extinct. That behavior will go through an extinction period where he stops doing it because it's not rewarding to him. Instead, focusing on me is more rewarding. Going to the other end of the fence or the other end of the yard is more rewarding. So I'm just backing away and rewarding. I don't say COME or HERE. I don't say anything. Maybe I'll use his name. Maybe I'll make a little clicky noise. But again, I'm allowing him to look at something. I back away. He comes back towards me of his own free will. He has another 25 foot of leash there that he can use to go to the fence. But he doesn't because he finds me to be a higher value than whatever is on the other side of the fence. At this time, of course, if there was a dog there, I know that I could not stand this close. But being that there's people on the other end of this parking lot or cars, he can handle that much. So here's a truck. These people are coming by. They're asking if I work there. I think they were asking about, maybe they were there to check out the shelter for a dog for adoption. And I was just letting them know, sorry, I don't work here. I'm just working with this dog. So, they go on. And that during that time, when I was distracted, Zeus was able to be reinforced for barking at the car. Reinforcement can be, it's fun for him to bark at the car. The car was there, he barked, it left, that was fun. So had I been able to be in control, I could move Zeus away, and reward him. I mean, there's times when you're going to have little failures and you can always fix it. So don't take anything too personal. So here he is running towards something. I'm able to get him to come back and I allow him to go sniff again. And here is, there we go. So that's where I was standing on the leash. I was trying to pick it up. I was picking it up too late. I wasn't holding on to it. I wasn't focused. And he got away and it kind of, got a little bit of rope burn. So again, it's not the dog's fault. I just wasn't prepared. So this truck is going to stop here. We got Zeus, and I think there's a gentleman that's going to come out with his dog in a little bit. And so here I'm going to be practicing with Zeus, saying, you can stand there, but if you're going to bark, we're going to go away. You can stand and look, but you can't be barking. If you bark, then I'm going to move you away. So I'm going to give him a couple of instances where I try to stand there and see if he's going to calm down. Since it is just a person, he's able to calm down. I'm still trying to get his attention at this point. And I think this gentleman is asking if he is friendly, and I have to tell him, hey, he is with people, but just not dogs. So he starts barking again, so we back away. We come back. I loosen the leash. I let him look at the gentleman. He starts barking, and we're walking away. We're not going to, even if you're friendly, even if you want to say hello, we cannot say hello if you're going to be barking like this, because in a civilized human world, this is not what a lot of people would find to be appropriate. So I'm dragging him away, and he pays attention to me. And again, I don't want to have to drag him away. You just, at times when you're managing, you try to do the best you can. So I'm still, even with that, where he's been able to be reinforced by barking at the guy, we're able to come back to the fence and counter condition that. And you might see that little white blurb in the background there of his dog that's running. So Zeus wants to go. They're not actually fence to fence. There's a little gap in between this fence you see in the back, that green part, and another fence. There's another dog running between. So I switched Zeus back to his short leash just so I can have better control of it. The other leash was, it's too long, it's too thin, I can't get a good grip of it. And so I want to be able to give Zeus a better chance, So I don't have him on a short leash, so I can pop him more, have more control in that sense. But I just want to be able to remove him from the situation faster than I was able to before. Because the quicker we can get him to move away, the quicker I can reinforce for alternate behaviors, the better I can get him to focus on me. Timing in dog training and training in general and learning is crucial. So again, you see that we come back to this. I'm giving him a second to see. He looks back on his own. Terrific. He's still focusing on me. I am backing away. I'm not turning my back to him. A lot of times when I'm working with dogs, I back away, because I want them to see that, hey, I'm focused on you. So a car drives by. I pull him away. I let him stand because he's standing there calmly. I'm trying to get his attention. Perfect. As soon as he looks at me, I go backwards. I move backwards. Again, timing is everything. If I had just stood there when he was looking at me, he may get distracted and move away. So body language, body movement, timing of body movement, very important. So he barks again. All right, we're going out of here. Sorry, buddy. We can't sit there and bark. Good. He focuses on me and goes in that direction. So here, he may not look very tired. To me, he looks more tired. And I know he is mentally. You know, he may not be flopping on the ground exhausted, but to me, he still has gotten a heck of a lot of mental stimulation, which would tire him out to the point where, yeah, he could probably still go for a walk or a run, or, you know, he could still do it. But this has tired him out, you know, in a state where he can be more calm when doing that. So we are packing up. We're getting ready to go. Again, we've been here, I think, at the park, you know, a little over an hour or close to an hour and a half or so, getting some last water. And I'll be taking him again next Sunday, so hopefully I will have better footage for you then. Might just strap the GoPro to my chest, and you won't be able to see my body movement, but you'll see more of what Zeus looks like. So just a way to show you that just because a dog looks happy and they're chasing the fence and they're going after cars because they enjoy it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for them. Personally, I find it obnoxious. Any dog that barks and barks because they want to say hello, I'm perfectly fine with a dog who looks like Zeus right now before they go say hello. And I think a lot of other dogs appreciate that too. So this is him on the way back home. Look at that cute little face. He's a good boy, and you're a good boy, Zeus, and you're a good girl, Lucy. And Adonis would be jealous, so good boy, Adonis. And then Hermes is just Hermes, so he's getting tired. He's resting his little head on me. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good one. And we will see you next time. And remember to stay positive.